You want to make sure you have the best fish combination in your aquarium because otherwise you're looking at a lot of potential problems. For example, the fish might end up fighting, fin nipping, bullying, stealing each other's lunch money. Well, maybe not that, but the aggressive fish can certainly end up hogging up all the food. That's definitely possible. If there's too much aggressive behavior, it can also cause stress, and the fish might even die, worst case scenario. Now, here's how to avoid that by choosing the right tank mates, or we'll even call it the match made in heaven. Here's 3 things to consider, and the first one is temperament. This one's probably quite obvious, but choose peaceful fish. If both fish are easygoing fish, there's a good chance that you'll have a peaceful tank. Some examples of peaceful fish are guppies, mollies, corydoras, many rasbora species such as Chile rasbora, harlequin rasbora, and dwarf rasbora, some barbs such as cherry barbs, otos or otocinclus, bristlenose pleco, many tetra species such as neon tetra, cardinal tetra, and ruby-nosed tetra. These are fish that are usually considered to be good for community tanks, so pairing them with other fish is relatively easy. Now, I'm not saying aggressive fish or territorial fish can't have tank mates, but it's much easier to mix and match these peaceful community fish. Second, you need to consider water parameters. All fish that you choose for the tank needs to be able to live in the same temperature, pH, and other water parameters. Even if they're peaceful fish and their temperaments are compatible, if they can't live in the same temperature, they can't be tank mates. For example, cold water fish such as goldfish and other fish that prefer higher temperatures such as discus fish wouldn't be compatible for this very reason. Also for this reason, biotope aquariums that are inspired by natural habitats and combining fish that occur together naturally tend to be successful. Third, choose a combination of fish that is visually appealing. The interpretation of this may be different for each fish keeper, and it should, because at its core, this is what fish keeping is all about. It's about creating an ideal underwater environment inside a glass box. While these aren't requirements for all tanks, some basic concepts will be to get a combination of fish that covers various levels of the aquarium, so top, middle, and bottom. For example, if an aquarium had only corydoras and plecos, the bottom of the tank may be crowded and there will be no fish on the top level. Instead of this, these bottom dwellers can be paired with mid to top level swimmers such as rasboras, tetras, and danios. This would probably create a better environment even from a visual perspective. Also, consider the color and color combinations. Not all fish have to be colorful, but some color will make the fish tank pop and really bring the tank together as a whole. And you don't necessarily have to get glowfish to add color to the tank. Natural colors can be subtle, but that's usually all that is needed to accent the tank environment. Lastly, in my opinion, contrast is the secret to the best fish tank combinations. If you can combine fish with different shapes and sizes and allow them to come together in a harmonious way, that really does it. There's a lot of different ways of doing this, but combining the right centerpiece fish with a group of schooling fish is one of the easiest ways of achieving this. Considering this concept, as well as everything else we mentioned, here's a few examples of fish combinations or tank mates you might want to consider. Angelfish and cardinal tetras, guppies and corydoras, bettafish and coolie loach, neon tetra and bristlenose pleco, yellow lab cichlid and synodontis catfish, dojo loach and a white cloud mountain minnow, ember tetra and otocinclus, platy and neon tetras, pea puffer and cherry barbs, discus and rummy-nosed tetras,